Hey YouTube, Twig here, bringing you all my Laval Yugioh deck profile. Wanted to do an update to this deck for 2019. It actually feels like it's been quite a while since I've done a Laval deck profile. It's a really fun deck. It really did take a hit with rekindling. I think I've said this every single time I've done a Laval deck profile as of late, but it was at its prime when rekindling was at 3, just because the whole point of the deck then was for Laval Quasar. It was a really fun deck to play, just with all the revival power to get out shooting Quasar Dragon. But with Link format being a thing now, the summoning mechanics are kind of different. But we do have Link monsters, and just with the overall speed, you can get out some Laval monsters. It makes for a very fun deck. So let's go ahead and get started with the deck profile. So for the monsters, I run 3 Laval Volcano Handmaiden. With this one, when this card is sent to the graveyard, if you have a Laval monster in your graveyard other than Volcano Handmaiden, you can send 1 Laval monster from your deck to your graveyard. So what's great about her is you can send Handmaiden off of herself. So if you have another Laval monster in the graveyard already, you can send Handmaiden, get the other 3 in the graveyard, and then 1 additional monster as well, having 5 set up in the graveyard for your plays, whether it be for some of your Laval banish effects or just monsters to use in the graveyard for other summons. Handmaiden definitely does come in handy for those plays. Another one is Laval Lakeside Lady. I decided to run 3 of her as well. If this card is in your graveyard, if you have 3 or more Laval monsters with different names in your graveyard, you can banish this card and 1 other Laval monster from your graveyard to target 1 set card your opponent controls and destroy that target. So it can take care of pesky back row and just answers that would either mess up your plays for your synchro summons, which are one of the main summons of the deck. So being able to take care of that back row, whether it be like Solemn Warning, Strike, or just being able to destroy Judgment or anything else that could mess up a special summon, Lakeside Lady helps with that, and also helps to set up your banish for some of your other cards in the deck that we run to help get back the banish cards, which is one of my main normal summons for the deck, which is Laval Cannon. With this one, when this card is normal or flip summon, you can target 1 of your banished Laval monsters, special summon that target. So with the banish effect of Lakeside Lady being one of the main things you go for, if you set it up with Handmaiden as well, you can choose which one of those 2 cards to return from banish for the summon with Laval Cannon, and then either go for a Link summon or a level 5 or 7 synchro summon, which is very, very helpful and, like I said, one of your main plays for the deck. And then for some of the other Laval monsters, I run 2 Laval Burner. With this one, if you have 3 or more Laval monsters with different names in your graveyard, you can special summon this card from your hand. Now, the main setup, which we'll get to, is obviously Conduction Field, which we run in the deck. That card sets up your Laval monsters in the graveyard, so having the different named ones in the graveyard for an easy special summon of a 2100 attack point monster. Debated running this card at 3, decided to stick it at 2 for now, just for the fact that if you have too many of this card in your hand, but you don't have enough openers to get Lavals in the graveyard, I didn't really like it at that 3 number, but still have it for that easy special summon. Definitely does come in handy. And for some of the 1-ofs for the Lavals, I run 1 Laval Magma Cannoneer. I run 1 of this card for, it has a burn effect in its hand, but most of the time with Conduction Field, if I send Lakeside Lady to the graveyard and then Handmaiden, then send the last 2 Handmaidens, just having Cannoneer as that last send gives me the option for Lakeside Lady, since you don't want to send another Lakeside Lady, since you only have 2 Lavals in the graveyard when you need 3 differently named Laval monsters in the graveyard to use Lakeside Lady's effect, of course. So just having this other different 1-of to send. I don't want to send either Burner or Cannon to the graveyard because they don't really do much in the graveyard other than that. So just having this other option, and the fact that Cannoneer also has 200 defense, so it's a rekindling target, is the main reason I run 1 of those. And I also run 1 Laval Koto. This is the one I decided to run in instead of 3 Burner as well, just for the same effect. If you have 3 or more Laval monsters with different names in your graveyard, special summon this card from your hand. It's just an easy level 2 tuner to get out into the field, or just an additional monster like Burner to use for your play. So if you open up this and Burner and Conduction Field, you can have the setup just to special summon these 2 out, and then having Cannon just be the additional monster to go for. So very, very fun play for sure when you can successfully get it off. For a more stronger monster, I run 3 Flamvell Fire Dog. This card just helps for its pressure for special summoning level 2 or less defense monsters from your deck, except for Flamvell Dog when it destroys an opponent's monster by battle. 1900 attack, I would say, aside from, cannon, it's your best normal summon to go to for that pressure alone. And I also run 2 Boost Warrior, just for another easy special summon. If you control a face-up tuner monster, you can special summon this card from your hand in face-up defense. So if you open up with Lakeside Lady or Handmaiden, you just have that option for the special summon and then another summon, whether it be a level 2 or level 4 synchro summon or just a link summon. Boost Warrior just helps with those easy special summons. And it's also got 200 defense as well for the Rekindling. Rekindling is at 1, so we still play it, obviously, just, sadly isn't as strong as it couldn't have been with the deck. And then for the last monsters, just because it's easier to play with the release in the Salamangreat deck, 3 Ash Blossom. Can't go wrong with this hand trap in the deck, so very, very helpful for sure. If you don't have Ash Blossoms, you can also just try out different hand traps, Effect Veiler, Ghost Ogre, you name it, to fill in this option. And that is it for the monsters. We'll now move on to the spells. Spoke about it already, but I run 3 Molten Conduction Field. You send 2 Laval monsters from your deck to the graveyard. Pretty standard. It's your setup for all your Laval monsters in your graveyard, which is a very important play that you go for. I already stated this is most of the time the play I'll go for, sending Handmaiden and Lakeside Lady, and then sending the last 2 Handmaidens, and then a Cannoneer off of the last Handmaiden. So, like I said, just having these, and then with some of the other synchro effects that recycle your Laval monsters, a definite 3 of in the deck, just to keep reusing those cards. And when you do set them up in the graveyard, I also run 2 Searing Firewall. You banish any number of Laval monsters from your graveyard to special summon an equal number of Laval tokens in defense. Now, what's great is we have, link options, obviously, with those cards. The tokens are also level 1, so we have the Link Karibo play, or the Land Fornicus play, or even the Dual Chimera play, since they are fire monsters. Just 2, though. You need that banish setup. It's basically the same argument I ran with Burner. If you wanted to bump up any of the numbers of Burner or Searing Firewall, I would reduce the number of Flamvell Fire Dogs to increase those numbers. But that's just if you wanted to run more of those cards. And then for some one-ofs, the card that, really made the deck for me is Rekindling. I love this card. It really, just being able to special summon 5 monsters to use in your graveyard. So if I have the Searing Firewall play, and then just being able to reuse those monsters and then make plays with them, and then have more to go off. If you open up those cards, you can just go crazy with all the special summoning you can do with the deck. I also run 1 Gold Sarcophagus. Aside from the search, which, it'll add back to your hand after the second standby, just having this banish option for Laval Cannon is the main reason that I like to run Gold Sarc, just to have that, banish target available if I do have Cannon, but I don't have Molten Conduction Field, just as an extra option. I also run 1 Reinforcements of the Army, just being able to search Boost Warrior and add it back to your hand. Not add it back, but add it to your hand, so you can special summon it, since all you need is an easy tuner, which you can get on the field. And I also run 1 Monster Reborn, 1 for 1, and 1 Foolish Burial for additional 1-ofs. Special summoning from the graveyard, pretty standard there. Getting Laval Handmaiden onto the field just faster with 1 for 1 is definitely a good play for sure. And sometimes I could just be off 1 Laval monster for the 3-of effects. Foolish Burial just really, really helps with those plays. And then lastly, for the spells, 3 Call by the Grave. With all the scent effects we have, it's just a big hit weakness for, Ash Blossom for sending to the graveyard. And also, if your opponent, knows Flamvell Dog or Laval Cannon, Effect Veiler stops those cards as well. So, just want answers so you can make sure you get your plays off. And then for the traps, just a little trap lineup for a little extra protection. 3 Flamvell counter. You remove from play 1 fire monster in your graveyard with 200 defense to negate the activation of a spell or trap and destroy it. So going first, if you can get your synchro set up or just your monster field set up, and then have a 200 defense fire in the graveyard. The banish can be used with Laval Cannon, and then just that negation counter trap definitely does come in handy. And lastly, for the traps, I run 2 Dustflame Blasts. You banish all Laval monsters from your graveyard to destroy any number of cards on the field up to the number of banished for this card's activation. Now, what's great is if you set up those cards, you don't have to, go all out with your sending. If you have Dustflame Blasts, you can maybe send 2 to 3, and then have them in the graveyard, set your Dustflame Blasts, and then, banish those cards, destroy your opponent's cards, and then, maybe use another Conduction Field next turn for the, additional sends, because you do run a second one, just so you don't lose all your resources that you could use with other plays in the deck. And that is it for the main deck. We'll now move on to the extra. I decided to stick to one-ofs for the Lavals just because we have other options now for summoning. So one Laval Dragon. This one definitely does come in handy for the fact that it's not a once per turn. Return 2 Lavals from your graveyard to your deck to select one card your opponent controls. Return that target to the hand. All you have to do is return Laval monsters. So you even have options for, Coattail, Burner, or even Cannon. Ones that aren't 200 defense. 2 shuffle back, 2 reuse as well, and then return cards your opponent controls. And I also run 1 Laval Dual Slasher. He gains effects based on the different number of Laval monsters in your graveyard. He has a piercing effect for 3 or more, and he can, if his card attacks a defense, it can attack once again in a row. So pretty big hitter as well to run in the deck. And I also run 1 Laval Dragoon. Once per turn, you can add 1 Laval from your deck to your hand, then send 1 Laval from your hand to the graveyard. So more graveyard setup, and then just adding the Laval you want. Definitely an important one for sure in the deck. Same with Stenin, being able to negate effects. This one definitely does come in handy for that. You have to send a Laval monster if it's in your hand. It's a mandatory effect, but other than that, being able to stop cards with a 2700 attack Synchro monster on the field and, can negate cards that target him, very, very strong for sure in the deck. For more generics, I run 1 Balmung, 1 Stardust Charge Warrior, 1 Black Rose Dragon, just the 4, 6, and 7 synchro options available to me for those plays. I also run 1 Crystal Wing. Happened plenty of times with the level 6 Laval Dragoon, and then if I have, Coattail to special summon out, that's a Crystal Wing right then and there. Or, if I have a level 7 option and then a Handmaiden on the field, another Crystal Wing to go for. And then for the Boost Warrior, Handmaiden plays just 1 Formula Synchron. This one definitely does come in handy for the draw power than just being able to reuse this card with like some of my other cards that, let's say, get out tokens for more special summons. If I don't use it for a Synchro, I can at least use it for a Link summon. And speaking of the Link monsters, I run 1 Link Karibo, plenty of level 1s to use for this in the deck. Landfornicus just for generic plays. And I also run Duelito Camaro for the fire monsters that I can make with this card very easily. And then also 1 Nightmare Phoenix, 1 Nightmare Cerberus, and 1 Borreload to finish off the Link monsters. But that is it for the deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed, but definitely in a fire mood lately. Been working on a lot of different fire decks, but I've been enjoying it for sure. So until next time, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and Kira Twig out.